So over the last few months, the One Piece TCG market has been relatively quiet. You know, in November, December, we saw that massive spike up, totally changed many of our portfolios. The cards doubled, tripled, quadrupled in price, and then things kind of just stayed a little quiet. And over the last couple of weeks, we've been seeing these crazy buyouts happening with these promo cards, with anniversary sets, and now we're seeing it take place with a very specific type of card only found in a very specific One Piece set. We're going to be doing a little bit of a deep dive as to what is going on here, and I'm going to potentially give you guys some great advice if you're considering investing or collecting into these cards, especially right now. So if that all sounds good, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And real quick, guys, just because I couldn't sell my OP13 booster box, I'm now going to open this right now in an attempt to get the Red Drop Manga Luffy card. Do you think I can do it? I think I can. Let's just do this right now and hope for the best, okay? All right, let's open up this pack and see what we... No freaking way, dude. First pack on the video and I pull the red manga Luffy. This is crazy. No, seriously, isn't this the coolest thing ever? This is super awesome. I was talking to a guy who's over in Australia, and he's been printing out these One Piece cards, and man, oh man, don't they look fantastic as art pieces. Obviously, you know, there's nothing on the back there, but these look absolutely incredible. And this guy, he sent me a couple, and he is the resin binder. You can see right there. Super fantastic guy, located down in Australia. I'm gonna leave his link to his shop down in the description below. Super sick stuff. I mean, like, isn't that awesome? That's super cool. I wanted to shout him out. I told him I would. He prints a lot of stuff, especially giant cards like this, and this is textured, as you can see. So if you're interested in that, be sure to click the link, support the guy. He's super awesome. But without any further ado, guys, let's get into the video. So guys, in today's video, the cards that we're going to be talking about that are being currently bought out are the Gold Leader cards from EB02. Now, if you don't know, EB02, which was the second EB set to ever come out, was the Anime 25th collection. It's been quite a bit of time now since it was out. It's been about a year or so. This was a very special set because this set introduced a one-of-a-kind type of rarity in the One Piece TCG, which were these Gold Leader cards. Now, in this set, it came with a bunch. I believe it's about 26, as you can see here. I've got them all laid out for us to look at, but what made these cards so ridiculously rare is that the pull rates for this set were not only astronomically tiny, but it was also the fact that you had a 1 in 26 chance of pulling any of these Gold Leader cards. So just because there may be a guaranteed leader card in, say, a case or whatever, it didn't mean you were necessarily going to get the Luffy, or didn't necessarily mean you were going to pull the Yamato. You basically had two separate variables that were stacked against you if you were hunting for these leader cards, more specifically characters that you wanted to get. And as we know, in the One Piece TCG, guys, the characters do matter. Example, Hody Jones. He's not the most likable character. He was a villain. He was the main villain in the Fishman arc. But, you know, he's just not a favorite character. Same thing with Calgara. I mean, Calgara was in Skypiea, very important character, but he isn't Carrot, okay? And even Carrot can't be compared to, say, Boa, right? Like, we know this already. We know that specific characters are going to mean more to people than others, and it's going to affect their rarity. I mean, Bello Betty, this leader card, I absolutely hated this leader card when I used to play in tournaments and stuff like that because it was super overpowered. But, you know, she's not the top female character, but, you know, there's some things kind of going on here, so I suppose it wasn't even a great example to begin with. But you get what I'm trying to say, okay? There are very specific characters that are going to be more popular than others, and that is just going to have an impact on what's going on. So obviously there's been these buyouts happening. These cards are super rare, and we're now seeing people coming in and swooping up a lot of the Gold Leader card prices. We've been seeing quite a dramatic increase in price, 100%, a double in price, 104% on this Luffy Gold Leader card in the last 3 months alone. We go down the list, Tony Chopper has exploded with 315%. That is a 3x, guys. Over 3x on this card, which has been crazy. Yamato has also been exploding in price. I believe somebody listed this card for $10,000, which is ridiculous, by the way. But we'll get more into my thoughts about that in a bit. But yeah, guys, the prices on these cards have been definitely going up. And what's crazy is that they're super hard to come by. I'll tell you the cards I have not ever seen on the market or anything. I have never seen the Odin, the Gold Odin Leader card on the market. I have never seen the Bello Betty, never seen Rob Lucci, I've seen Sabo quite a bit. Rosinante, no. I mean, like, even Gecko Moria and Hannibal, like, they've been very rare. And the Kyros one, I didn't even know there was a Kyros one. I had to double check because I've literally never seen it before. So there's just so many cards here, but they're incredibly, incredibly rare, and they are getting bought out. Now, here's the thing. Here's my opinions about this stuff right now, okay? So, guys, I really think that big players, big laboons, okay, are coming in, and they're starting to corner the market. They're starting to understand the One Piece TCG market a lot more now. Obviously, this channel talks about investing and collecting and stuff like that, but, you know, I am going to call out something when I see it if it seems a bit odd. And I really do think there's a deliberate attempt to just pump certain parts of this market so that the little guy basically ends up having to either pay a ton more than it's worth or basically getting price out of the market. We're seeing this happening with the collections. We're seeing this happening with the anniversary sets. I'm getting people coming in my comments being like, the first anniversary set's going to go to $15,000. And it's like, listen, we are kind of reaching a point now where the buyouts are not making sense with the actual value of the cards in this card game. You know, when we've got sets surpassing the top cards in the One Piece TCG market as a whole, we've got a problem, right? And the thing is that when there isn't as much of a product, say the first anniversary set, or even EB02, because EB02, low prints, as we always talk about, it's not that hard for somebody with a ton of money or multiple people to do coordinated buyouts, to inflate the price artificially, manipulate the market essentially, and just start selling these cards at a higher premium because they can do that, right? As they say in investing and stuff, you know, we are retail. People like you and me, we're retail. We're not laboons, unless you've got millions of dollars in the One Piece market or just in general. We are basically retail. We're not corporations, and these cards are being bought out, right? So going back to what I said earlier, this Yamato was put on the market for $10,000 recently. Do I agree with that? Absolutely not. You know, I understand these cards are rare, and I do think they do deserve a fair price point. I mean, again, the Luffy leader card, does this card deserve to be like $4,000? I mean, you know what? It sort of does because it's Luffy, and it's the only gold leader Luffy card in the whole set. It makes sense. Does the Tony Chopper card deserve to be even more than that? I don't think so. I personally don't think so. Yamato being $10,000 makes no sense. The way I see this personally is that we would have the Luffy, we'd have the Chopper, and we would have Boa as the top cards. Everything else would be below that. And I mean, a lot of the characters that are actually here for the gold leader cards, you know, it's a variation of side characters and some villains. But overall, there's like a lot of fan favorites missing out of the entire set. Now, the thing is that people can come into the comments and say that I'm wrong and these cards deserve to be like 10, 15,000 plus. But like, guys, let's be really honest here. Once these cards reach a certain like threshold, no one's going to be buying them anymore. Like, who is going to want to buy a $10,000 Vegapunk? Okay, most people aren't even at Egghead. Let's be really honest here, okay? And the fact that there are characters that are just so far in the anime that people wouldn't really recognize but would still just say, oh, I'm going to throw like a couple grand on, is crazy to me. I feel like in the One Piece market, you know, you gotta know your characters, you gotta know fan favorites, and like you wouldn't get into Pokemon and think Charizard is not worth buying, right? Or is a top chase. Like, you obviously need to have some kind of forethought, some kind of insight into the One Piece market to participate successfully, okay? You can buy all the cards you want, but if you're just buying cards and not understanding the anime or the manga, I mean, you're really going to be shooting yourself in the foot, I think. Now, we've obviously talked about market manipulation before, and like, look, the gold leader cards, they do deserve a type of premium if we're actually going to be serious for a second. They are rare. They do genuinely deserve to have a certain price range that I think would qualify for the type of rarity that is in the EB set, right? Again, you can only find them in EB02. But like, guys, we have to be realistic. Like, we cannot be taking every card that we think is rare and make it just as expensive as the top chase cards in all of the One Piece TCG. It is just like, we've just got too many outside actors who are totally just messing this market up. Like the natural flow of this market is being disrupted. Just like if I had $10-20 million, I went into the Pokemon TCG world and I just started buying up all the Zapdoses, okay? Or I started buying up all the Clefairies all of a sudden, or some other Pokemon that's not the most relevant, and then it becomes relevant because it's just blowing up. Somebody's buying all of them. Somebody is buying. There's a guy who is buying all the Bubble Mews. And I just saw a video, I'm not going to look for it, but he just bought a black label Bubble Mew. I think it was on an auction, a golden auction, for like $200,000. Like, holy crap, man. Like, how do you compete? You know what I mean? And that's going to impact the price of the Bubble Mew, probably by a decent bit. So anyways, I'm not trying to make this video to put people with money on blast. I'm just more or less trying to remind you guys that just because we see number go up doesn't mean it deserves to go up. It doesn't mean that, oh, well, this must be the price that we should pay for this. No, there is a lot of market manipulation taking place in this card game. I myself, who is a proud lover of One Piece, a proud fan of the show, of the anime, of the cards, I put a ton of money into this card game and am now starting to get priced out of a lot of cards simply because I just do not believe they're worth the price that we're seeing now. Take everything I say with a grain of salt, but take everything that anyone says in the One Piece TCG world with a grain of salt. It's so easy to get lost in the sauce, guys. I mean, spending $500 on a card a couple of years ago was blasphemous to me, and now that's like a nothing burger. You know, there are cards that are $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 that I've purchased, and it's just crazy to me how I look at the prices of cards now so differently. But like, will I pay an extra couple of dollars on my Uber Eats order? Hell no. You know what I mean? Like, it's just absolutely crazy to me. But anyways, guys, with that being said, be careful out there. There's a lot of interesting things happening in this market. We're definitely starting to see different things take place. Be smart with your money. And if you have gold leader cards and you're retail, you're just an average Joe, and these prices are just blowing up, you know, might be the right time to sell, you know? Like, that's another thing too. Like, I'm not trying to tell people don't buy these cards, but in the same breath, we also got to remind people that it's okay to sell your cards too if you need the money. Obviously, don't do it if you don't need the money, but just remember, these prices may not last. But anyways, I hope this video was helpful, and if you did enjoy the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. A video should pop on the screen. Be sure to click it, and I will see you over there.